What's up, YouTube? It's Naj and Reina, back with another wine and reactions. I got a little drink right here. Topic of today: Brittney Griner. I think that's how you say that last name. Griner is over in Russia being detained since February. All right, and we're gonna get into the ins and outs. We're gonna watch this clip first from their perspective to see what's going on, and then we'll hop back in and give our thoughts on it.
The surprise admission that could very well change the legal and diplomatic fate for one of the most successful female athletes in the world. WNBA star Brittney Griner appeared in a Russian courtroom once again today, where she pled guilty to drug possession and smuggling charges in her trial following her arrest for bringing vape cartridges of hashish oil into the country. Griner's case has been watched closely in the U.S. In recent days, the Biden administration has faced increased pressure to gain the Olympians' release after 140 days in detention. Today's guilty plea comes days after Griner sent a handwritten letter to President Biden pleading for assistance. And today we learned that Biden wrote her back. That letter was hand-delivered directly to Griner today in court. And tonight we take a look at the implications of all this and what it could mean for Griner's potential release. On this day 2 of her trial, WNBA star Brittney Griner entered a plea of guilty to drug charges in Moscow. Griner saying, "I would like to plead guilty on the charges against me, but I had no intention on breaking any Russian law. I was in a rush packing and the cartridges accidentally ended up in my bag. I would like to give further testimony later, not today." Griner, dressed in all red, clutching a photo of her wife. ABC News was inside the courtroom while Griner was led into a holding cell. Our producer asked her a question before being ushered out of the room.
Brittney, do you want to say something to ABC News?
The two-time Olympic gold medalist was arrested back in February while flying back through Moscow's airport after visiting the country to play during the WNBA's offseason. Russian authorities have extended her detention until at least December 20th. They allege that Griner was carrying vape cartridges containing hashish oil, an offense punishable by up to 10 years in prison.
She realized that this trial could go on for months and that if she indeed wants to take advantage of a potential prisoner swap, the best way to expedite this would be, unfortunately, to plead guilty.
The Russians would likely want to release Griner in a prisoner exchange for Victor Bout, a notorious Russian arms dealer serving a 25-year sentence in the U.S. Griner writing to the White House, pleading for her release. "I'm terrified I might be here forever. I still have so much good to do with my freedom that you can help restore," adding, "Please don't forget about me and the other American detainees." President Biden responded by sending Griner a letter which she was able to read. The president also called her wife Sherelle with Vice President Harris.
This has been top of mind for the president. He receives daily updates about the status of her negotiations to secure Brittney's release, and the U.S. government continues to work aggressively using every available means to bring her home.
The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, Sergei Ryabkov, said the hype around the Griner case isn't helping her cause. And while all eyes are on Griner, the sister of Paul Whelan, the former Marine also detained in Russia since 2018, spoke out, tweeting, "Still looking for that press release saying the President of the United States has spoken to anyone in our family about Paul Whelan, wrongfully detained in Russia for 3.5 years. I am crushed." But the pressure to get the Phoenix Mercury star home is not letting up.
She's incarcerated with people that mostly cannot talk her language. And I wanted to pray with her to give her some spiritual strength and to let her know that people around the world have not forgotten her.
In an open letter signed by more than 1,000 black female leaders, including legendary coach Dawn Staley, activist Bernice King, and Tina Knowles-Lawson, they write to the president, "The rhetoric does not appear to align with the actions taken to date." And in Phoenix, thousands of miles from Moscow, her friends and family rallying for her freedom.
President Biden, please help bring BG home.
As the days continue to increase that my wife is wrongfully detained in Russia, I've adapted her mindset in my efforts to get her home by going no matter what or how I feel. I honestly can't rest until she's home.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here.
So, that is is a very, very sticky situation.
Well, let's just break it down piece by piece. So I think there's a lot of concern from what I have been reading prior to this, because I actually have been keeping up with this. Because Najee asked me at first, do I even know who she is? I'm like, but I think that it is. I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts. Maybe you should go first.
So I know this is our second time trying to do this. First,
because someone knocked at the door and our dog went crazy, so we had to stop it.
Yeah. So thanks for the details.
I think it's important.
Yeah. So as I was explaining at first, it's a situation where I do believe exactly what she's saying. Like you can literally just forget that you've packed something and throw it in your bag. And by the time that it's time for you to travel, especially if you're going around and you're moving back and forth, trying to get to the airport, there's a lot that goes into that. And I had a similar situation to where I was lucky enough to be. So I was in a situation kind of similar, right? And thankfully, I just so happened to be in a state where the rules were on my side. So in short, we live in Texas, in Dallas specifically. And I was headed to the airport. Reina dropped me off, and I got out the car, went through security and everything, had my book bag with me, and I forgot that I didn't have my gun on me. I had a extended clip, right? It was like
an extendo.
It was like a 33 mag.
Like he's a mass murderer. Like
fully loaded on top of that, right? Like all the bullets was in there, but it was just the clip itself. Thankfully, in Texas, that's not against the law. Thankfully, because had I been in Chicago or some other state, right? Because here in Texas, all you need, unfortunately, for some people, it's unfortunate, all you need to get a gun, right, or buy anything like that is a Texas ID, and I think you got to be over either 18 or 21, I can't remember.
And
with no felonies, and you can buy a gun, right? You don't need any sort of like
permits,
concealed
carry,
cards, any of that. Yeah. Right? But I had that with me, and I didn't know. So I'm trying to hurry up and get back so I can go to Chicago. They like, is this your bag? I was like, yeah. So they came over and they pulled it out. I was like, oh my God. I left this in there. And he was like, thankfully, don't worry. It's not against the law. It's okay. It's cool. Only thing is you either going to have someone come pick it up, or we're going to have to confiscate it, take all the bullets out and, get rid of it, whatever. I was like, all right, just take it. Throw it away. I tried to call.
Did you call me?
I tried to.
I think I was already gone.
Yeah, so I was just like, it ain't that big of a deal. Like, go ahead and take it, But I was in a situation where the rules were on my side based off of location and where I was at, right? So
I hate to sound like the type that's like not understanding, but I just personally, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around that. Like, I know that you actually honestly forgot, but like my first mindset is, how could someone forget something like that? Like, and that's my mindset with Brittney Griner, because I'm like, how do you forget you got drugs on you? Like, and then go to another country. So I don't know. Like, one side of me is like, maybe she forgot because of Najee's situation. But the other side of me is that a lot of people sneak things in. A lot of people try to get around systems. A lot of people try to stretch the law. I don't know if that was Brittney's situation. I'm just saying that regardless of if she is saying the truth or not, like, I think it doesn't really matter in the end because she got arrested.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, her situation is similar to my situation. If it is the same, it's just careless, right? Because I was in a situation where I didn't plan on it. Like, I would have literally... Now, keep in mind, prior to me going back to Chicago, I was looking for that clip. I didn't know what I did with it. And I had just happened to put it in that bag. But for her, even if she didn't do it on purpose... Why do you
need it in your bag anyway?
I don't know what I was on.
What life are you living where you need to have an extendo clip?
I'm just saying,
like, I mean, like, it's not like you're in a gang or something.
Safe and sorry. I am, BBP. So, here's the thing.
Built by plants.
Cha-ching. Oh, wait. So, here's the thing. It may also be what you're saying. Maybe she just felt like she can just get in and wasn't that big of a deal.
A lot of people do that.
And that's another, situation as well. Do you feel like it was one of the situations where maybe she was just ignorant to the laws or didn't understand it or didn't
I
even
think
learn
that is extremely possible, because how can you keep up with every law place you go to? I think that's extremely possible. That's more legitimate to me than saying you forgot you had drugs on you. Because I just, not saying that it's not true. I hate how I sound right now, because it sounds like I'm saying I don't believe her. But I had, a little bit of me is like, there's a possibility she's not telling the truth about that. But I fully believe that she probably didn't realize that there was a law like that, or didn't take the time to figure it out. Like, see, people like me, I'm extremely analytical and paranoid. So I look at shit over and over and over again. I'm not saying I would never be in a situation where I just like got in a situation where I didn't know any better, but I am the type to I'm the type to look up jaywalking laws before I go to another state. Okay, I look up, if I walk the street, could I get arrested for this or get a ticket? You know what I mean? Like I'm very, so in my brain, it's like, sis, how did you? But I think the most important part is not whether she meant to, didn't mean to, whether it was an accident or not an accident. The reality is that it happened, and now what's happening now is that she's being put into like a jail system in a foreign country
with a max of 10 years. Here's a problem.
In the foreign country. That's the part that's scary.
The problem is,
I'd have to go live in Russia to go visit you.
The problem is, I don't know the specifics, but I'm just guess. I'm pretty sure that they're able to possibly get around or have some sort of connections in the States where that may not be a big deal. Because to be honest, in the States, that's a slap on the wrist, right? Maybe you get fined, especially in her situation.
It's cartridge, right?
Yeah, it's like that's a slap. Like, that ain't nothing here. She's not carrying with the intent to sell. It's not like a huge load or whatever it may be, right? Just so happens that over there they don't play that, right? And it's sad because I look at that little ass holding cell that she was in, which sucks. On top of that, right, it's also like a situation where
we're not, but like they're actively at war, and we're actively helping their counterpart.
Mm-hmm. What's crazy is they brought up like the fact that it's WNBA, NBA, whatever. They brought up the fact that saying that they can trade a prisoner for another individual.
Prisoner swaps are very normal.
Right, yeah, but I'm saying like it just so happened that she plays in the WNBA, so like the verbiage, like we can trade, somebody for you. It's in basketball space, it makes sense, right? Like you bring this like a funny situation, but it's not funny, but like people get traded all the time in the NBA, WNBA. Trade her for KD, all right?
Anyway,
KD trying to leave the Nets. Trade her for Kevin Durant, you'll be all right.
I think it's really a serious situation, though, because they're trying to trade. It's called a swap, but they're trying to swap Brittney Griner, who has this minimal type of crime, but she's an influential, important person in our country, with somebody that is a danger to society in general. I forgot the man's nickname, but it's like major arms dealer, the arms dealer of death. The point is, they are potentially wanting to swap for someone that is dangerous, like extremely dangerous. But are we swapping for him to go back into the Russian prison, and he just hasn't been where his family, is? I think that one of the things that's not going well for Brittney, I think that she was right to plead guilty simply because it will help expedite the process to hopefully get her back. But the problem is how many people who are saying she's being wrongfully arrested and wrongfully convicted. And here's the thing. I want to be on the side of, our citizens, and on the side of especially, a black woman that's just, went over there to work. But the reality is, she did break the law for that country. Yeah. And so she's not being wrongfully convicted. Now, I do think that her celebrity is going against her with Russia, because now they're like, yeah, we're going to make this bigger than it is to make sure that we get what we want out of it. It's almost like when you get it, like you get a layup. Like, you get it like, oh, yeah, it's a come up. It's like, okay, so it's like one of those situations where it's like, all right, so I got something you want. So what you going to do to get it back? Like, and I think that's like the mentality behind it that sucks. But I think that like Russia's government was saying that the fact that people keep trying to act like they're doing something unethical or unlawful, or saying that like that's making it worse, because now they're like, well, fuck it then. And I'm like, that's I agree. Like, you just say like she shouldn't have had the shit, but we want her back. Let's do a trade. I don't know if it's, here's the thing. I think that we should do anything we can to get our American detainees back, because there's more than one detainee. There's multiple ones. And I don't think it's fair that, like the Paul's sister was saying, Paul Whelan's sister, she's like, what the fuck, what about us? My brother's been there for 3.5 years. Mm-hmm. So I do think it kind of sucks that, there's other American detainees that are there. But because of Brittney's celebrity and because she's a well-known athlete, we're getting a lot more attention with it, even though some people feel like if she was an even bigger athlete, it would just be done.
Before you continue, that's what I wanted to touch on. I think it was her coach or...
Her coach said that if it was LeBron James, he'd be home by now.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I don't think that. I don't think that in this... I don't know, actually. And the reason why I don't know is because, President Biden is saying a lot of stuff, but he's not really putting a lot of action behind it, which I think is the biggest problem. And I don't know, maybe he would trade. The point is, like, I feel like they're trying to get around trading the prisoner swap. But maybe if it was a LeBron James or someone even more influential, which I love LeBron, but like there's someone even more influential, maybe they would be like, we don't give a fuck who you want to swap, give us our guy back. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Paul Whelan's a Marine that got taken over there.
Yeah.
Who was serving his country, and they haven't figured out how to get him back. So I don't know.
I don't think that's accurate. I get her point as far her coach, as far as saying there would be more urgency and maybe as far as like doing things or actions or whatever it may be. But I don't think that you could just say just because it's a person. One, I don't think you can really compare someone like LeBron to her. It's like if you were to say like, let's just say
Lisa Leslie.
Like even her celebrity is up there, but like let's just say John Wall or something like that, like an NBA player that's was a star, but you can't go straight to the top and say LeBron and compare it and think that would be the same outcome.
But I think I think what you're saying is respectfully part of the problem, because I think when we talk about being citizens of the greatest country in the world, the country of freedom, and I'm making these faces more so because I know that we're not the most perfect country. But when you're talking about America, we're supposed to be all, of value, especially when you're talking about against another country. And I think that there's an issue with the fact that there's like preferential treatment even in this situation, because they have an active example of American detainees that are there right now. So I just personally think that, like, to your point, that yes, maybe if you have a higher celebrity, there would be more action that could be done. Maybe if LeBron James were over there, they wouldn't have even arrested him, because they would have been like, oh my God, it's LeBron James. I don't know. But I will say that it's nothing that you can tangibly put an answer to or be like factual with, because it's just like, who knows? Like, and who wants to find out? I don't know.
No, that was part of it as well, where it's like, I don't think you could just say that, because I think they probably hard. I don't think them of us care who it is. I don't think they like.
So I don't know her black ass. So like they're probably like, girl, get in this cell.
Some people may know LeBron, some of them may know and such, but I think they would have probably kept the same.
If it was Michael Jackson, he'd be free, because everybody loved Michael Jackson.
So
especially in other countries.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough situation. It sucks, because it's like, are they right? Are they doing anything wrong? No, they're not really doing anything wrong. They're going based off of their laws.
And they got a layup. It's like if you're playing chess and you get the other side's queen, you got to come all the way over here to get her back. Mm-hmm. I got your shit. Like, and obviously it's not that as significant as that, but Brittney Griner, like, if there's a way for her to become free of Russian prison sentence and we don't do anything about it, they're saying we want to do a prisoner swap and that's the only way to get her back, and America doesn't do anything about it, there's going to be a real big fucking problem. I mean, there's going to be a real big problem. And the reason why it's going to be a big problem is because why is her life not worth bringing her back home? You know what I mean? But then again, like when you compare to the who they want, it's like, who's our responsibility for? You know, should she pay for the crimes that she did, even though she didn't realize she was doing a crime?
Yeah.
It's very hard.
There's going to be a lot of... So
actually, I don't even have good thoughts on this. My brain is going every direction with this one.
Because while I do agree with that, I think a lot of people are also going to be like, but what about the Paul guy?
Right. Well, I think they're trying to do multiple detainees.
Yeah, for 3.5 years for him to be over there.
As a Marine.
And then, you know, like I for sure ain't heard nothing about it up until this. So it's kind of good where it's like it's also bringing attention to his situation, right? Because of this, you know, her celeb and awareness. But it's also like, it is one of those situations where you don't really know the right answer because, again, she technically did something wrong. Did she purposely do it? No, but I don't know if it's really about intent, especially in another country's
I mean, intent doesn't really matter even here.
Yeah.
I mean, intent doesn't... I mean, if I had drugs on me here in Texas where it's not legal to have weed, and I said, oh my God, I just came here from Chicago where it's legal and I forgot I had it. They don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be like, okay, we'll just confiscate it. No, I would get arrested here too.
Yeah. And
no one's going to care that my supposed intention was not to break the law. It is all of our responsibilities as police officers, and the law states it's our responsibility to know the law within the U.S., regardless of which part of the U.S. we're in. And I'm not saying, it's one of those weird things. It's like, I don't think, like, sure, our own minds is like, okay, it's fucking cartridges. Like, are y'all serious? But it's like, if that's the law, we can't really argue it. Just like when people get mad about your right to not have to identify yourself to a police officer. They're like, just give them your ID. Like, what's the big deal? It's like, well, you're kind of like violating my fucking constitutional rights, and we have the right to exercise them. So it's like when people, like, sometimes our logic doesn't match up with the law. Like, logically, it's like, what's the big deal? Just like if you know you don't have drugs on you and someone asks to search your car and you're like, no. Well, why not? Are you guilty of something? No, I'm just exercising my rights. And they're like, I mean, if you don't have anything wrong, why not just... It's like, because it's the law. And the law, regardless of logic, regardless of what makes sense to us in our 2022 minds, it's still the law. You know what I mean? And I mean, and it's, at this point, it's Russian law, which is we really don't know shit about. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it sucks because, like, I want to make it more... I want to make it like she's being violated by being put in prison or in jail, but it is the actual law. And I don't know enough to say, like, well, there's been other people that have come through with cartridges and they let them go. I don't know that. I just know it really is a law.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's being discriminated against. I don't know if it's because she's American. I don't know if it's because she's a black woman. I don't know if it's because of anything else besides the fact that it's the law. And I don't have enough information to be like, yeah, she's like, this is an atrocity. Like, I can't say that because I don't know anything more than what I've researched, and nothing's really telling me that. I mean, it seems like other people get the same treatment.
Yeah. So,
what do you think?
I don't know. It's tough. It's
a hard one.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I think it's the fact that they're within their rights because it is their law. It's just very unfortunate. Now, like you said, I think if it's a situation where there is a way to get her out and we don't exercise that, that's going to be a tough situation to navigate because it's like...
I think that America will make it about her race, about her sexuality. I think they're going to make it about, like how her coach already did, her gender, her celebrity. They're going to make it more than that, even though, I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, let us know your all thoughts. What do you all think about it? Do you feel like she should be let go? Do you feel like it's all her fault and she needs to suffer the consequences? Do you think it should be a situation where America needs to go ahead and swap whoever they want to swap for? What are your thoughts?
Well, what are your thoughts? I don't think you said it because I probably was interrupting you. Was I?
So,
sorry.
I think they need to. I think they should let it go. I think that they need to give her the understanding that this is a person that was coming in for work. It wasn't like it was just leisure, you know. And again, it's tough because it could go either way, and you can understand it either way. I just feel like in this situation, America needs to do whatever they can just to get it back, because this is an opportunity to maybe put something in place.
Restore some faith.
Yeah, but to also put something in place for situations that may happen in the future. You know, also just bringing awareness that these other countries aren't playing with you, you know. So whatever they're trying to do with her, whatever example they're setting, it still can be set, right? Because it's just bringing awareness to people making decisions when it comes to going out of country now. You'll think about it a little bit more and make sure that you are well equipped and prepared for whatever it is that you're about to do, right? You're going to think twice before trying to sneak anything in if you are trying to do so.
Or think twice before you pack if you really are in those situations.
Yeah, and just double check all your stuff, right?
So real quick, do you feel like the U.S. should let this extremely dangerous arms dealer who's done horrifying, heinous crimes back into the custody of Russia to get Brittney back?
I think they're still putting him in jail, though, right?
I have no idea. I mean, is Brittney going to be in jail when she gets back?
No, I doubt it. I mean,
yeah, well, she is actually. Like, they talked about the fact that she would have to deal with the consequences of her actions here in the U.S.
Yeah, but like I said,
but I don't know.
Not gonna be anything like, let her do a couple days.
Well, what I'm saying is, how do you feel about the fact that they're going to release this terrorist back out?
Release him over there, and then don't let his ass come back. Ban him from the States. I'm joking a little bit, but I'm also serious. Let him go, but I don't think it's let him go as far as let him go free over there. I think that they'll still jail him or whatever it may be.
But they might not.
Let them deal with it. That's their people, you know. And if they cool with it within their country, letting the terrorists out, that's their rules.
He wasn't a terrorist to Russia. He was a terrorist to us.
Well, I mean, I think as we ban him. I don't know the specifics as far as what he's done or whatever, so I can't really give too many details. But I think that a situation where we're letting this individual stay locked up in their prison and their jail isn't necessarily the right thing.
I agree.
I think that she's from here, so even if we do,
she's literally from Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, Houston. Yeah, even if she does have to do some time or whatever, depending on the country, the state that she was coming from, whatever it may be, it's going to be way better than whatever the hell they had planned for over there, you know. Not even able to speak the same language as those people, you know, not knowing anything, especially about the jail culture and stuff like that. So, you know, I think that that should be something that's handled over here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, overall, I think my mind's going every direction with it, because it's, on one end, I feel like we need to acknowledge that regardless of her intent, there was a crime committed in that country. I think that we should just acknowledge it versus saying she's being wrongfully convicted or wrongfully held. And then I think that we should focus on trying to get her back, because it's it's almost like a child or a family member. It's she may have fucked up, but we want her back though. We'll handle her over here. Let us take care of her over here. We'll do what we need to do, because she needs to not do that, but she's still ours, and she should come back. And I think that a lot of people are adding in a lot of different components to it about her race, her gender, her sexuality orientation, but I really don't think, I actually personally don't think that actually has a lot to do with it this time, that much. I don't think. I think it's just really it was.
It's my race.
Race, sexuality, orientation, and her gender. I don't think those things really have that much to do with it, like some people are saying. I think it's more about, it was wrong place, wrong time at the right time for Russia, because Russia now has like a leg up on the U.S. Now they're like, good, I'm glad we got this bitch. So now you can give us what we want. You know what I mean? Like, she's important, right? Y'all like her? She's a celebrity. She's important to you guys. President Biden and Kamala are calling the wife. Yeah, give her back. Like, give us all what we want, and you can have what you want. And it's just like, I just think that's more of the situation, and it sucks. But I do think if President Biden doesn't like step up to that, it'll be really bad for him and any like campaigning or whatever he's trying to do for 47. So hopefully he isn't just talking nonstop and actually does something to help her, because I mean, I couldn't even imagine being in that situation in a foreign country. It's like it's already your worst nightmare to be in prison, but it's like really your worst nightmare to be in prison where you don't even know what the fuck people are saying. Someone could be literally like planning your death in front of you. Like, yeah, we're just gonna kill this bitch. You're like, what y'all say? Oh, nothing.
Thankfully,
when she goes to sleep, we
she's
getting her.
for sure the biggest individual in there.
Y'all ain't gonna take her down easy.
So they gonna need some tools, which I'm sure they probably.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
But thankfully she's not 4'9". Instead, she's 6'9", with a 17-inch foot.
Over 200 pounds. That's not no small baby, okay?
She'll
And
be
she's
able to handle
beautiful.
herself.
She's beautiful, and it's sad. I mean, I know, like, some people will think, like, well, when you do drugs, it will happen. It's like, come on, guys. Like, in most of the states in the U.S., like, weed and hashish and all that other shit is legal.
It literally means nothing. It's like...
Yeah, it's a lot of places it's legal, so it's like... I think she was careless, like you said, to have it on her. I don't know her reason for doing it. I don't know or care if it was on purpose or not on purpose. It's one of those things that sucks. And she's not like some fucking drug addict. It's like, it's fucking weed.
Yeah, it's recreational recovery.
Yeah, whatever. So it's just, ultimately, I just think, like, on one side we have to acknowledge the truth, but then on the other, like, we need to have some action behind that and get her back.
Yeah, agreed.
We all gotta guys, put your, like, if you pray for Brittney Griner, because, I mean, it's such a horribly sad situation. If you don't pray, then, put good energy out there for her. Hopefully she'll be okay, because it's sad.
Yeah. That wraps up this video. Thank you all for engaging and participating. If you all are still here.
In the comments, right? It's not live, right?
Let us know your opinions, all right? Drop them down. What do you all think about this? Let's continue the conversation in the comments. And make sure you subscribe, all right? We're seeing that a lot of people are coming to the video, and there's a percentage that subscribes, and there's a percentage that just moves on. So
don't use this for entertainment.
Before you continue on.
Oh, wait. No, use this for entertainment.
Yeah, and subscribe. Before you go to the next video, tap that subscribe button, all right? It's free.
Like, comment. Thank you.
Share. Peace.